If you get involved with religious or so-called spiritual matters, there's a fairly good chance that you'll become neurotic. Um, and in fact, maybe you were neurotic before you went into it anyway. Um, kind of living a conflicted existence. Your head's saying one thing and your emotions and desires saying something else. You become neurotic. Anyway, people buy into spiritual stuff, and don't ask me what the word spiritual means because I don't really know. But it's used a lot, and I guess you get the drift of what I'm talking about. So, kind of new age things, meditation, workshops, retreats, following a guru, Buddhism, all that stuff. Anyway, we're mostly neurotic. I mean, we have a central neurosis around death. It's kind of tapping us on the shoulder quite a lot, and we choose to ignore it. So, in our body, in our guts, we know that we're going to die, but the head just doesn't want to accept it, so we get all kind of neurotic. But anyway, you can get neurotic deluxe if you get involved in some kind of spiritual or religious thing. Because in almost every tradition I've come across, and I've kind of been around a little bit, what you will typically come across is people telling you what you should do and not how you should do it. So, let me give you an example. In the Dhammapada, which is, as you probably know, a Buddhist text, it says, give up your anger. Oh, well, that's easy, isn't it? Somebody runs a key down the side of your brand new car that you've saved for 5 years, and you just give up your anger. Hello, mate, who just run a key down the side of my car. Not a problem. It's not going to happen. Your gut reaction is going to be that you want to push the head of this person through, through something small. And you will be angry. So how do you just give up your anger? Or, it could be anything. It could be somebody at work that you hate has got a promotion that you thought you were going to get. And you get angry about it. How do you just give up your anger? Well, you can, and this is where we get neurotic, so the body, the desires, the emotions, the gut reaction is one thing, and then the head is telling us another little story. Oh, that person who's got promotion was probably the best one to get it. And the rest of you saying, no, he wasn't. He's a creeping bastard. I should have got that job. So you get this inner conflict, you become neurotic, and this becomes more and more exaggerated the more you take these things on board. Conquer anger through gentleness. Well, that's how you do it. Conquer anger through gentleness. Again, from the Dhammapada. It's full of these things. I've known people who, with the best intention in the world, try to take these things on board. Within a month, they're at screaming pitch. The tiniest little thing. A fly lands on the computer screen, and that's the end of it as far as they're concerned. They melt down because the fly has landed on their computer screen and had a little shit while it was on there. because all their real emotions and desires were not heeded, they were not listened to, and so they're still in there bubbling away. So, another one that is just bandied about as though it's something you can just do tomorrow. Don't identify with stuff. Don't become identified. So, if someone you care about deeply dies, don't be identified. If you lose your job and are pushed out onto the streets because you can't pay the mortgage, don't become identified. Endless things not to identify with. That gorgeous person that you so want to have sex with suddenly makes themselves available to you, but don't identify with them. Again, another recipe to become neurotic. Your body is screaming, I want, I want, I want. And the head's saying, well, you can't have, you can't have, you can't have. The body is probably going to win in truth, but even so, that's going to create some kind of further thing of guilt. So we're not only neurotic, but we now start suffering from things like shame and guilt and regret and remorse. The problem with most Eastern texts that I've seen, and obviously I haven't seen them all, but is that they tell you what, but they don't tell you how. So give up your anger. How do you do that? Well, you can't just give up your anger. It would be stupid to even try and do it. To give up your anger is a result from a lot of work and a lot of understanding. It isn't something you just start doing according to some kind of formula. So you have to understand what anger is to start with. You have to be honest about what you're feeling. You have to know how you can accommodate that feeling within yourself. And a whole pile of things that you need to be able to do to give up your anger. So they kind of say it the wrong way round. It's not give up your anger, it is anger is given up. You don't have to do anything. Anger is given up. When you have come to understand what anger is, feel it in your body, know how to accommodate it within yourself, and so on, then anger is given up. So these directives, give up your anger, are foolish, and it might be that in the translation the kind of sense of it has been perverted, but because most of the people who do these translations are sort of goody-goody, I'm an Eastern expert type. This one's by a guy called, this Dhammapada translation is a very famous one by Eknath Iswaran. I'm sure he's a very nice man and all the rest of it, but give up your anger. It's not going to happen. Your anger may be given up one day, but just a directive. Hey, you, give up your anger. And then, of course, when you can't do it, you get full of remorse. And of course, the Christian religion is particularly good at that kind of thing. Love your neighbor. Love your enemy. Oh, well, fuck, I can't do that. Oh, well, you're such a bad person. And so you get neurotic again. So, the point being made here is that if you're going to try and deal with your emotions and your desires and the way your mind operates and all the rest of it, and you have to ask yourself why you would want to do that, and that's another podcast, but why do you want to do that? There are reasons for wanting to do it, but just to change, to become a better person, the worst possible reason you could want to do it. To become freer within yourself is probably the better reason to do it. Because freedom is ultimately the only thing that's worth anything. Anyway, all the religions and spiritual movements that you will generally come in contact with have just got this whole damn thing the wrong way around. They will issue directives, and you, like some little child who's been told not to crap their pants by their parents, is wondering, well, what happens if I get caught short? And then you crap your pants and you feel guilty and all the rest of it. So, the Neurotic's Guide to Spirituality kind of goes like this. Don't do spiritual stuff to try and become a better person, or to change yourself, or to become, I don't know, whatever. The only reason you should want to do it is to become free. And you are definitely less free if you are neurotic, because you have more conflicts going on within you. So, what you need to do is use your own intelligence and try and find someone who knows about this stuff really, instead of somebody who's translated a book or is talking because they've read a book, and can show you the how rather than the what.